This entire desk is powered by the new iPad Pro M5, and for the past 1 month, I have been running my whole life just off this setup. Today I'm gonna share my entire workflow and every accessory that I use in order to turn my iPad into my main computer. And not just for doom scrolling on the couch, which I still do, but also for getting real work done. But the thing is, using your iPad as your only computer has some major drawbacks. Missing apps, unsupported plugins, and one deal breaker that almost made me quit. We will get into that towards the end. I'm Prithviraj and let me show you what this desk actually does only. With the iPad OS 26 update, working on the iPad has been a lot easier with the menu bar and better multitasking. I'm currently running on the iPad OS 27 beta, but before we jump into all the gear, here is what all this desk setup helps me achieve. First thing, every video I make starts as a script and all of that happens right here on my iPad. Then there is the channel itself, managing what my team is working on. I use this app called ClickUp and this is basically the brain of the whole operation. Then comes the heavy stuff. I edit my videos on DaVinci Resolve and make all my thumbnails in Photoshop. Also the same pile of stuff everyone deals with, replying to emails, sorting through messages and stuff like that. So the question I had going was simple. Could one iPad genuinely carry all of that every single day without me reaching for the laptop? Let me walk you through how I made it happen piece by piece. This little box is the reason this whole setup exists. It's a Thunderbolt 4 dock from Akasis. On its own, the iPad basically has one single port, but the moment I plug this iPad into this dock with one single cable, everything changes. That one cable is powering my 32-inch monitor running in full 4K, my external drives, and it's even charging the iPad at the same time. All of that through one single cable. So when I sit down to work, there is no plugging in 5 different things. That convenience is the whole reason I stuck with this. And when I'm done, I simply have to unplug that one cable and walk away with the iPad in my hand. And that's the part I want a normal person to hear, not just creators. As if you had to set things up every time you sit to work, that kind of defeats the entire purpose. But the speed isn't my favorite part. This is. The iPad sits on this stand from Spigen. It's called the one-tap easel. My iPad just snaps in magnetically, and because of that one cable from the dock that is handling everything, it looks very clean. And the case I'm using is the Spigen Enzo. It's got this fiber finish, which is the fancy way of saying it feels really good in hand. It also has a cutout for your Apple Pencil, so my Apple Pencil Pro is always there charged. Also, I stuck this ring, which I got with the iPad stand. It ensures my iPad is connected properly without any worries. By the way, none of the products I'm using are sponsored. I use them all by myself, so we'll be leaving all their links in the description. Now coming to the monitor. This is a BenQ MA320UP. Well, that was quite a lot. It's a 32-inch 4K display and it was built specifically for people using a Mac or an iPad, which when I found out kind of sold me on spot. I have connected this via the Type-C port of my Thunderbolt dock. You can also connect it via the HDMI port if you wanted that instead. The best part about the monitor is that it is very color accurate. When I'm editing, I can see my entire timeline and all the footage controls all at once, and it's big enough to not feel cramped, of course. The panel is what they call a nano gloss finish, and ignoring that fancy name, what it means in real life is 2 things. One, the colors look rich and accurate, which matters a lot when I'm grading my footage or building a thumbnail. And 2, it cuts down on that annoying glare and reflection that you get on a normal glossy screen when there's light or a window behind you. But all in all, this screen simply makes everything feel much premium. Movies look incredible on it, your photos will pop, even just reading on this is nicer. It's one of those upgrades you don't think you need it until you have that. I'm still using the iPad as my reference monitor in order to get a second screen. Most of the time, I have GoodNotes open with my daily planner. If you have been following my channel for a while, then you might know I like to plan out every single day as it helps me stay a lot more productive and accountable. So I have the daily view of my planner open on my iPad at all times, and I simply check them off using the Apple Pencil once I'm done. It's super satisfying to do that. I'll leave the link of the planner in the pinned comment in case you would be interested in that. It has a daily, weekly and a monthly view, as well as a finance tracker built in. Now, a big screen is great, but if you're staring at it for hours, there's a problem that nobody really wants you about. I fixed it up with this thing. This is the BenQ Screen Bar Halo, and it simply sits on the top of my monitor like a little bar of light. The reason this exists comes down to something really simple. When you're staring at a bright screen in a dark room, your eyes take a beating, and if I have to write things down on a notebook, it lights up that part without bothering my eyes. It sounds like a small thing, but it's not really. This is one of those quiet upgrades that your eyes will thank you for. Also, we have this control deck, which is really cool, and that alone gives a very premium feeling once again. Now coming into the peripherals, for typing I use the Keychron K2. It's a mechanical keyboard, which just means it feels really nice to type on, as it has that satisfying click to it. It's wireless, so no extra cable cluttering things up. Along with it, I'm still using the Logitech MX Master 3S. This is the mouse I recommend to everyone, creator or not. This one is super helpful. It fits in your hand perfectly, has a very ergonomic design, and the best part is that horizontal scroll wheel, which sounds like nothing until you're scrolling through a long video timeline or a giant email thread, and you will soon realize how much smoother everything feels. And under all of it is an extended mousepad. It's a generic one that I found on Amazon. It just just gets the job done. For speakers, I've got the Creative Pebble Pro speakers. They are small and they look minimal, so they don't take up half of my desk space. They sound way better than something of this size, but for detailed audio work, I often switch to my AirPods Max. The sound on these is on another level and blocks out everything around you. The noise cancellation is spot on. And then there is the mic. This is the Elgato Wave 3 Mark II, and Elgato actually sent this one to me. It sounds fantastic, it looks clean, and it simply fits this desk perfectly. And honestly, I have been using a lot of Elgato products in my workflow lately, as there is whole another setup that I have been working on, which is powered by the MacBook Neo, and Elgato plays a way bigger role in that one. I'm not going to spoil that video here, but that one is coming really soon, and if this desk setup impressed you, that one is gonna be something else. So hit that subscribe button and keep an eye out for that. Right, let me talk about where all my files actually live, as this is the part most setup videos completely skip. I run 2 drives, and they both have a totally different job. The small one is the Samsung T940 SSD. It's quite small, fast SSD, and this is where all my active projects live. As in the videos I'm editing right now, I can edit my footage straight off this drive without my iPad ever feeling slow or stuttering. The big one is the WD My Book. It's a 12TB drive, which is a massive amount of space. This one is basically my archive, every project that I've ever finished, all my old clips, as in everything I want to keep but don't really need it frequently. All those stuff goes in here. It's my deep storage out there. So the stuff I need is lightning quick, and the stuff I want to keep never gets in the way. Both of them plug straight into that one dock, so they are always there the second I drop the iPad on this stand. Alright, before we talk about the furniture, let's have a look at the fun stuff I have on my desk. As a desk you spend all day can just be all about the gear. It needs a bit of you. Otherwise, it feels like an office you got assigned instead of a space that you actually want to sit in. I have this snake plant sitting here, and it's the easiest win on the whole desk. A bit of green in the corner completely changes the mood in the room, and the best part is that this thing is basically impossible to kill. I can forget about it for days and it doesn't really kill that. It's a very low maintenance plant. Then I've got this wireless charging station that handles my AirPods, my Apple Watch, and my iPhone all in one spot. And this is again there for the pure convenience factor. Right next to it, I have this little Bulbasaur figurine, and there is no productivity reason behind this. Actually, it might be. It's just there because it makes me smile every time I look at it. And sometimes that is the whole point that we often overlook. My Fujifilm X-M5 lives on my desk as well, always within reach. I keep it handy because the best shots often happen when you are not ready for them. Sitting right in front of me means I can grab and shoot in a second. And then of course we have the Asus ROG Ally, which is my little escape during a long day of work. When my brain is fried halfway through editing, I'll simply grab that one and play a quick round of something. That helps me reset and then get back to work, which is way better than doom scrolling, and it actually helps me focus when I sit down. And finally, the most important item of the entire desk, and that is my coffee coaster. Yup, this is the most important one as I run on caffeine, addicted to it like a caffeine junkie rather. Okay, there's always a cup somewhere near me, and this stops me from leaving rings all over the desk. Small things again, but saves my soul. So that was kind of my personal corner. None of that makes me work faster, but all of that makes this desk a place where I actually wanna be. Now speaking of the desk and the chair itself, as it matters more than people give it credit for. The desk I'm using is actually a custom height adjustable desk, so I can sit for a while and then stand up when my back starts to complain. When you have to spend long hours on your desk, your back kind of gives up on you, so being able to change your position is honestly a lifesaver and not a luxury. The chair is from a brand called Green Soul. Honestly, I'm not really a fan of gaming chairs at my office desk setup, so I have this grey ergonomic office chair. When you're editing for 7-8 hours, a bad chair will wreck your back and your focus of course. With a good one, it disappears. You just stop thinking about it and get into work. That's exactly what this has done. I forget that it's even there, which is the highest praise a chair can probably get. Alright, so this was my entire setup. One iPad running everything, one cable doing all the work. But I told you at the start, I wasn't gonna pretend that it is perfect. So now we need to have that real conversation. This is the truth. Nobody making these aesthetic setup videos wants to admit. Living on an iPad as your only computer comes with real headaches as well. So let me actually tell you about them instead of selling you a fantasy. The biggest one for me by far is Photoshop. The Photoshop you get on the iPad is not the real version of Photoshop, as in it's a cut down version. It can do a lot, and for most of my thumbnails it just gets the job done. But the moment I want to do something more heavier and something more advanced, I simply hit the limits on that, because there are many missing features that exist on the desktop version but not here on the iPad, which leads to the deeper problem, and that is the plugins. On a real computer, when an app doesn't do something I need, I can add a plugin in order to extend that, or just download a completely different program to to get the job done. On the iPad, I can do that. I'm logged into the App Store and logged to what each app decides to let me do. My video editor DaVinci Resolve is incredible on the iPad, but the moment I want to add certain third-party tools or effects that I have on my desktop, I just can't do that. So I'll just have to work with what all I get by default. And the part that almost made me quit was the export times in DaVinci Resolve. It was really slow, and with how intense the production of my videos are nowadays, that one thing was a major problem for me, not gonna lie. But I'll be fair, the multitasking experience has gotten genuinely good ever since we got the iPadOS 26 update, but the Files app is still not capable enough to replace the Finder on macOS. So these are the cracks, not a total deal breaker of course, but absolutely the things you should know before you spend this kind of money. Which brings us to the only question that actually matters. Can the iPad actually replace a real computer? And I'm gonna give you the straight answer, because it depends entirely on who you are. So if you're someone whose daily tasks are light, like managing emails, making presentations, browsing, watching stuff, then yep, this setup will not just be enough for you, it will be a fantastic experience. It's clean and fast, and it does everything most people need a computer for. For that person, I'd recommend this without a second thought. But if you're a creator or someone doing serious work, then this is where things have to get honest. It can absolutely work, but you have to go in knowing the limits. I was running an entire channel of this. I write, edit, design, and manage everything from this desk. So it's clearly capable of real heavy work, but if your entire job depends on a specific plugin or a full desktop version of any particular program that the iPad simply doesn't have, then this can't really replace your actual computer, and you'll end up being super frustrated. So yeah, before you build a setup of your iPad, you must know all the trade-offs. This was my entire iPad Pro M5 desk setup. One iPad, one cable, the entire thing. And the MacBook Neo setup I mentioned, well, that's dropping soon. As I'm being totally honest, that is a complete different beast at a budget. So make sure you don't miss that. But now, if you would like to dive deeper on how I literally use this iPad to run my entire life on it, starting from my daily tasks to even my finances, then click here on this video, and over there I've shared the 4 pillars I follow to run my entire life from this iPad. See you there.